That's good. I need to find music, like royalty-free music that I can play during this scene where it's my starting up scene. Alright, sweet. Welcome back to the stream. Today I'm going to be continuing my course on voice training. I'm on day 3 of this course out of 30. That said, let's get started.
Analyzed your voice, either yourself or with a good friend.
Day 2. On to day 3. Go over here.
High and strained your voice was.
What? Let's start at the beginning.
Hello, welcome to today's 4 parts on day 3. The first part, I want to talk a bit about relaxation, and this is especially important if, when you were doing the visualization on day 1, remember when you were pretending to answer the same question to different people, you felt tense talking to your supposed boss. If you do feel nervous or stressed when talking to figures of authority, such as bosses or officials, or maybe you're young, maybe teachers or parents, you really need to pay attention to how tense you are when you're speaking. There are many ways to help yourself to be in a relaxed state, but the most important thing at this stage is to identify when you are doing it. Remember when, say, you were really stressed at the railway station arguing with the ticket person, or waiting in line to talk to someone at the back, waiting ages and ages, getting more and more stressed, and when you eventually got to speak to that person, you were almost blowing your top. Now, I bet if I had recordings of your speech when you were in those stressed situations, you would probably be surprised how high and strained your voice was. Now, every day brings its own stresses and strains. Your job for today is to actively identify when you are stressed today. Then listen to how your voice changes when you are stressed and try to relax yourself. So if you are waiting in a queue, in line for anything, just try and calm yourself down. Actively do that. When you eventually get to the person you're waiting to talk to, just listen to yourself and note how your voice is deeper, sounding more resonant when you're relaxed. The bonus of this relaxation is that your negotiations with the other person or people usually go better when your stress doesn't transmit to them as well. So everyone wins. Part 2. We're going to do another clarity exercise right now, and it's a tongue twister. Practice this now and a few times during the day. The point of a tongue twister is that it really does help the dexterity of the tongue and the teeth, and also concentrates the mind as well, because usually tongue twisters are nonsense phrases, and these phrases make even less sense when you keep on repeating them, and also get harder as you get faster and faster. Today's tongue twister is, she sells seashells on the seashore.
She sells seashells on the seashore.
She sells seashells on the seashore. She sells seashells on the seashore. She sells seashells on the seashore. She sells seashells on the seashore. She sells seashells on the seashore. So, pause the video and say this about half a dozen times, getting faster and faster. If you can, record yourself and play it back and pretend you're somebody else, not knowing what the words are. Is each word separate and clear, even when you get faster and faster? And in fact, this particular tongue twister, as it has many S sounds.
I'm going to write this tip down. Practice tongue twisters by repeating the phrase. Relatively. Is that how you spell it? Repeating the phrase. Faster and faster.
Can identify any issues you may have with sibilance. Now, sibilance is the nasty, high, splashing sound.
Okay. Keyword sibilance. sibilants. I actually have to maybe Google on the correct spelling of this. 1 second. Sibilants. Okay.
Caused by either poor tongue and teeth control, or it could be a dental problem that a dentist could advise you on.
Ooh. Dental problems may affect a person's sibilants.
Anyway, pause the video now and have a go at the tongue twister on screen now, and try and go faster and faster until you fall off.
She sells seashells on the seashore. She sells seashells on the seafloor. Or shore. She sells seashells on the seashore. She sells seashells on the seashore. She sells seashells. She sells seashells on the seashore. She sells seashells on the seashore. She sells seashells on the seashore. She sells seashells. She sells seashells on the seashore. She sells seashells on the seashore. She sells seashells on the seashore. She sells. Okay, I think that's enough of that.
Part 3. Now, remember yesterday we started off with some resonance exercises, which were basically breathing in deep and humming low. I asked you to put your hand on your upper chest to hear if your hand has started to vibrate. And don't worry if you haven't felt this vibration yet. But today we're going to go one step further and start with a high hum, gliding down to the lowest note you can manage, like this. So I want you to pause the video and hum fairly high, not too high to strain your voice, and in one deep breath, like I've just done, just gently glide all the way down to the lowest possible in one breath. So it's good for breath control, this as well. If you run out of breath before you've got to your lowest note, you've failed. And so keep your hand on your upper chest to feel if those vibrations come about when you glide low. You should feel a sweet spot of resonance at a certain lower note. I want you to do this at least 4 or 5 times, please. Remember to relax as much as you can. Get rid of any tensions. Do some gentle head and shoulder rolls. Calm the mind. Pause the video and glide up to down like I demonstrated. And just keep the hand there. See if you can feel that sweet spot of vibration.
Okay, he actually starts on the top of his face and he moves his hands lower.
Okay, part 4, the final section today.
Okay, let me try that. Okay, I get the idea. Practice coming from a high, we call it pitch tone. How does he define this? Pitch tone moving towards the lower tone that was practiced in the last lesson. Okay.
Is about identifying volume differences. A good colloquial speaking voice should have plenty of volume contrast. Now, this actually overlaps a bit with acting training, where you are sometimes speaking very quietly one second and then booming from the rooftops the next. Now, I don't expect you to have any dramatic skill. We're not learning acting training here. We're identifying your control over volume here. I want you to repeat this tranche of text that's coming up when you're in a quiet room by yourself and identify what is happening in your own vocal cords, in your chest, in the nasal passages. I want you to read what's coming on the screen, but listen how I do it first. For the quiet sections in the following demonstration, I will electronically boost my voice for this video so you can hear me clearly. Now note, I am not whispering now, but I am speaking as softly as I possibly can without it breaking into a whisper. And this is a very good exercise for finding out the capabilities of your vocal volume range. Control this soft speak. Make sure you have enough breath drawn from deep in your body by using the muscles in your diaphragm. And with a very deep breath, this is me speaking as loud as I possibly can without actually shouting. It's the same as walking very fast without breaking into a run. When you shout, you can do quite a lot of damage to the sensitive vocal folds. So here, you need to learn to talk as loudly as you possibly can, raising the note a little, which gives the illusion of shouting when you're actually not. But now, let's take that volume right down again. The storm has passed. The rage is extinguished. The glowing sun has come out to warm your body, and you feel good. Okay, right now it's your turn. When you start to do this, take breaths whenever you like and just identify what's happening in your body. Stop if there is any straining in your voice. Remember, you are not whispering, You are speaking very softly. You are not shouting, you are speaking loudly. So pause the video with the text on the screen, and it's over to you.
Now note, I am not whispering. I am not whispering now, but I am speaking as softly as I can possibly can without breaking into a whisper. And this is a very good exercise for finding out the capabilities of your vocal volume range. Control this soft speak. Make sure that you have enough breath drawn from deep in your body by using the muscles in your diaphragm. And with a very deep breath, this is me speaking as loud as I'm supposed to be speaking really loud now. And with a very deep breath, this is me speaking as loud as I possibly can without shouting. It's the same as walking very fast without breaking into an actual run. When you shout, you can do a lot of damage to the sensitive vocal folds. So here, you need to learn to talk as loudly as you possibly can, raising the note a little, which gives the illusion of shouting when you're actually not. But now, let's take that volume rate down again. The storm has passed. The rage is extinguished. The glowing sun has come out to warm your body, and you feel good.
Now, identifying your potential volume range, or some people call it a dynamic range, is really important. You wouldn't take a new car out without understanding the power you have to control and the slowest speeds you could drive without stalling. So it's the same with a voice. In this course, I'm not just going to give you loads of exercises where some of them may not be beneficial for you, because in a way, You have to understand your own voice and your own needs yourself. I can't be there for you to coach you personally, but rather than mindlessly doing exercises that are generally good for most people, I want you to make up your own mind as to what will be the best for your own particular needs. That's why we're doing these types of identification exercises, and more will come up as we go along. So to sum up, in the 4 sections today, we looked at relaxation, identifying when you're tense, stressed, how tensions can negatively affect your voice resonance. So try and identify where the stress areas are in your body. Actively try and defuse the tension. Secondly,
actively identify. Oops. Okay, actively identify tension areas in your body and use methods to calm down and release those tensions.
try doing some tongue twisters like the one we did today. Just Google tongue twisters, find some more traditional ones, and perform some up to down glides as well. Try and get those low resonant notes humming in your chest. Find out the sweet spot for you. And finally, some very quiet talking when you're on your own, in your own car maybe, and some very loud talking, but be careful you don't hurt your throat. So that's your homework. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow.
All right, awesome. Let's go over the Q&A for this lecture. So Deep ask, hey Peter, sincerely enjoying the course. One question though, should I keep a note of all the vocal exercises you mentioned throughout the course and keep doing them every day? Or should I go with the flow of the course and do the mentioned exercises you have mentioned? I love your content. I don't even know what TIA means. Thank you. Yeah, I'm not going to try to figure it out. I think he didn't respond because obviously, yes, you're supposed to keep practicing every day. Otherwise, you're just going through it once, and if you just go through something once, you're not going to really master anything, right? Might have a sense of knowledge, but in a practical sense, you're not going to get much better. So this guy didn't ask such a good question, but let's look at the next one. Ajum Parvez asks, I often feel that my laughter is not the most pleasant to hear. I notice different laughter sounds from various people. Some are very soothing and enjoyable, and others are very irritating. Mine is in the middle, where it does not inspire other people to share in the joy. Do you have any thoughts on that? Is that's very it's kind of personal and not too related with this lesson. I think it might have been better to ask this maybe in a later course, maybe the summary lesson. Like, let's even see if he has a summary. Nope. In that case, I'd probably just ask that question on day 30. But anyway, let's move on to the next question. Valsilios asks, is there like a rule or recommendation on the minimum time we must put in each exercise daily? You know what? I think the author should have answered this, but it's kind of different for everyone, right? And what the author replies here might not be the correct answer or a suitable answer for the person that's asking. Some people, depending on like what they're currently working on, require more time than others, and to answer this question requires an ongoing conversation to figure out how much a person needs to spend, or how much time a person needs to spend on each daily exercise, which the author does not know. So you can't really, give a precise answer without knowing a bit more. And I don't think he would have time to have that conversation here. So that's probably why it did not get answered. Okay, next question. So David asks, and it looks like he had a reply from the person from the last question, just asking, I'm working on a music-related podcast where I introduce each song. Do you have an email address where I can send a recording of my voice? I mean, that's asking this professional to do some work for you. And this is like more of a business inquiry, and I don't think this is the right medium. I think what you would do is you would Google this guy's name and figure out what his business contact is and send this question to that medium instead, and not here. Okay, so what does this guy say? He says, personally, I cannot really see how someone would benefit from having a clear and powerful voice, not to mention that you learn to control your breathing, which has tremendous benefits in your everyday life. But that, again, is my personal opinion. What? That doesn't really answer anything about his question. This guy is just going off on some like tangent, and I don't even know if I can call it a tangent because I can't see how it kind of relates to this. Anywho, moving on to the next question. All right, so Serdar asks, okay, so he's referring to this exercise, because he's quoting it here. What? He just quoted the entire exercise without asking a question. All right. Yeah, obviously that's why you didn't get a response, because there was nothing asked. And there's more, but I think I've had it with finding if there's any. Oh, actually, there's only 6, so let me just finish this last one. Okay, so Federico asks, wait, I can't genuinely hum. It's sort of high and can't go down. So I think while I was practicing a moment ago, it was actually difficult for me to hum from high going down, because there's a certain point where I would break. My voice would I would feel it, where I can't transition from a high to a low. But I think that just simply means I need to practice more. I think it's possible, but it requires practice. And I want to say the same to him, right? And he continues, is it impossible for me to get a deeper voice? Serdar, I think he's one of the folks that asked a question, says, I can't go much deeper either. It gets stuck somewhere. Yep, same here. And I think it just simply requires a lot of practice. Some people need more practice, and others can get it right almost instantly. Yep, I think this probably completes the lesson for day 3. So in that case, this concludes this stream. And yeah, thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.